Another edition of Riding Home here on Dog Post. Dean Legge, Matt DeBary, as well as Dylan Webber. Everybody riding at the same time. This is not exactly the longest kart ride we're ever going to have. Another practice. Dylan, anything interesting at practice?
Nakobe Dean looked like he was doing pretty well, I thought. It looks like he was going full speed in the drill. I think he'll be good to go Saturday. You know, maybe a little limited just because they do have guys in front of him.
That's good, though.
Yeah, I think he'll play.
What's the deal with DeAndre Swift, Dylan?
I don't think there really is much of a deal. I think that's just a little blown out of proportion. Someone said he was listed as questionable. I don't
on the message board.
Well, and that was from another site, so I think it was a blog.
Okay.
I don't think that's true. I don't know where they would have gotten that. I think he's all right.
Either way, I think you're going to see a lot of Zamir and Brian Harry.
Well, the legend of Zamir White continues to grow, and I know Kirby hates it, but with Eric Stokes, with what he said today, does anyone want to wrap that quote up? It was quite interesting.
What did he say? He said when he's got to go up against him, he knows he's got to be a man, or he's got to prepare to be a man. Zamir sounds very humbling, if you will,
and fast apparently too. I'm so eager to see him play, but Brian Harrion as well. Kirby talked about him for a little bit today. I love Brian Harrion as well. He's been a grinder the entire time at Georgia. This is the last time we'll see Kirby before they kick. He's got the teleconference on Wednesday, so that's something that's important too. We won't be together again until the season starts. Is there anything lingering that we have not discussed as far as this whole thing is concerned? I mean, what is the likelihood that they could lose this game?
This game, 1%.
Low.
Yeah.
Very low.
But this has been a long offseason. Go ahead, Dylan.
I was going to say 2 or 3%.
Yeah, so low.
I feel like we've been talking about this team for so long. We've done countless riding homes. I do think we've covered everything, but that happens when you cover a team that could win the national championship this year.
Is Stetson for sure the backup quarterback because Mathis cannot play?
Oh yeah, I think even if Mathis could play,
I think that's a good point. By the way, I think it probably would be Stetson, and Stetson will probably play in this game if Georgia has a 97 to 99% chance of winning it. We were talking in Dog Post chat last night. If you remember Dog Post, you know what chats are like. They're very free-wielding. They're not as serious as certainly a report or a message board post. But one thing that folks were saying was, Georgia really struggled against Vanderbilt against the run. Well, that's not really true. Georgia ran the ball pretty well against Vanderbilt. They struggled in the first half last year against Vandy, but they put up 400 yards in Nashville a couple of years ago, and last year I think they ended with like 230. Well, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was a pretty significant number. Do you see them getting slowed down by Vanderbilt on the ground?
I don't think so. And again, a lot of it goes back to the offensive line that we've been talking about over and over again.
Here's my caveat with all of this is that, Texas stopped them or slowed them down significantly. Now, so did fumbles and et cetera. So DeAndre Swift had a tough game that night. But why can't someone stop Georgia's offensive line? I mean, what are they really that great?
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I'm not going to say that they can't be stopped because if people have off days, people have off games. But I mean, this offensive line is. I think we've beat it dead here. It's one of the best, if not the best, in the country. So it's just going to be extremely hard to slow down.
It's certainly one of the top two. I don't know who the other one would be.
They're
the best.
You could always load the box, put 8 guys in there. But
is that what Texas did? I'm trying to remember. There were just so many missed opportunities.
They just played harder than Georgia.
Yeah, that was a lot of it.
Yeah. But if you stack the box against this Georgia team, you've got a junior quarterback, Jake Fromm, who knows exactly what to do. So I think they're going to be very balanced, still run heavy. They've got a stable of backs, but a junior quarterback, I think, is going to make a lot of plays, can check in and out of things.
The other thing is if you bunch it up, they can throw these quick passes to the likes of Tyler Simmons. And you're looking at 3 to 4 yards on those plays as well. These quick snap throws to the outside, getting the ball out of your hands real quick. And then all of a sudden it's Tyler Simmons or Demetrius Robertson or whoever, one of these quick twitch guys against, in a one-on-one situation in the flats. That's not ideal either. Or you could flex out Swift, you could flex out Cook, you could flex out Zamir, Harrion. They have some. I don't know if you do that with McIntosh, but maybe you just go 5 or 4 wide and you run it out of that. I mean, you could do that too.
Well, these running backs can catch. I know when I've been at practice watching that group, they can catch out of the backfield for
I'm
sure.
just saying, stock markets crash. Bubbles form.
Shit goes wrong.
What you don't think will happen can happen. And I'm just asking the question, what and this car participates in this too. But why are we so certain that the offensive line will be that good? Because we've only watched them, or is it legit? They are legitimately that good. I'm just asking.
And legitimately that big.
I think they would have run on Clemson last year myself.
Yeah. I think
I saw Auburn or Alabama run on them.
Auburn has a great defensive line. There could be some teams.
They ran all over Auburn last year.
This year, they're going to be good again this year. I'm just saying I don't think Vandy is a team that's going to be giving the Georgia run game any type of trouble.
Yeah.
Maybe Auburn does. Maybe Alabama does if that is the match of the SEC championship game. Probably not Texas A&M, but
maybe Florida.
Well, Florida, I mean, my only thing is, before we hand Georgia the trophy, and I've as much participated in that as most people, but before we hand them the national championship, I do want to just say publicly that there are going to be times when you just don't play well. I mean, we watched today, Matt and I watched today, it's not the same thing, but because it's an individual sport, but the number 8 guy in the world loses to a qualifier in tennis. So,
One thing I'll say, and that everyone, especially on Dog Post, likes to talk about was, especially last year, was on the goal line, not being able to punch it in. We'll see. I'm sure they made that an emphasis. They made it an emphasis in practice last year between games, but
you don't want to run. You don't want to fight the last fight. You don't want to run the election of 2016 and 2020. If you do, you could have problems. And so your deficiencies from 18 might not be your deficiencies in 19, and so there will be a whole other list of problems this year. I'm just wondering out loud, as far as the confidence is concerned, everybody's beating their chest right now because they watch the Gators look like total turd. I'm just saying that there's a certain amount of certainty that is starting to make me a little less, why is everybody so sure that X is real? And that's what I get worried about, is when everybody starts lining up that something is true. Do we know it really is true? I mean, are we so certain that Vanderbilt's not going to be motivated to play as well? Because I think they probably will be.
They're going to be motivated. I'm not sure it'll be a home game for Vanderbilt.
It won't be. It won't be.
But they're going to come all out. They're going to give Georgia everything they have. But one thing that I do think is certain is the quarterback play that Georgia has and the offensive line. I think those are probably the two most stable, and the running backs, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's a very confident group. It's a very stable group, and one that I think Georgia fans can depend on to look really good in every game this year.
Comments?
I mean, yeah, I agree. I think definitely quarterback and offensive line are the most certain things. And, of course, it's not always certain. We've seen Jake Fromm past 2 years. He's bound for a bad game.
He's entitled to have 8% of his season not be good.
Yeah, it's just human nature. Yeah. You're not going to be perfect in, 13, 14, 15 straight games? Yeah. You're going to mess up, and you're going to look bad at times, and that's fine.
Look at this guy talking to his girl. I mean, this isn't going. I just saw that.
He's in the doghouse.
Oh, my God. Competition every day out here in Athens. So, go ahead.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Don't describe the guy, but go ahead.
No, they were just arguing a little bit, and then
she slow steps him.
Yeah, and then she just put her head down and just started storming off.
That was something else.
That was some serious competition right there.
Downtown Athens right there.
She was not going to lose. She was pissed.
Real quick, any thoughts on the defense? We talked about the offense pretty much. My whole thing is they've got pass rushers. They've got. Can they get to the quarterback this year and get the sacks? Not get close, but get the sacks.
Well, Ledbetter wasn't a pass rusher. DeAndre was, but you're entering a new era here with Nolan and
Aziz and Jermaine.
I think they'll get to the quarterback. I would be more concerned about maintaining the edge with that group.
Maybe.
And that would be where my concern would be more, but I think they can get after the quarterback.
I think they're going to be a little more stout than people are thinking at this moment against the run. I'll say this about Vanderbilt. And I know we have final feelings coming up. I get all that. We're going to do one of those too.
Yeah.
But Vanderbilt, Kirby's not bullshitting. They do have that running back's legit. Now they might not have great defensive or offensive line and the quarterback. You got to kind of wonder about their quarterback situation. But they are a 3-touchdown dog, and it's not great. But they do have a legit receiver. They do have a legit running back. They're going to have to figure out how to get where they got to go on the line, and that's going to be their issue. Are you not happy with some of the bohemian lifestyle? Listen, man, it's Athens. This is not like...
This is a real weird group that's walked by us recently.
This Athens. I mean, that's what this is.
You're not going to see them in any football games this year.
Normal.
That's normal?
I'd say that's normal.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
That's not
There
a
are
big
definitely
deal.
some weirder people.
Dude.
Well, I'm doing this thing where I think before I say
there
now,
we
so
go.
I'm not going to comment anymore. But Kirby talked a little bit about special teams today.
Yeah, I
Before we
had
wrap this
a
up.
harder time hearing apparently today than most, so I don't know that I heard that so well.
It's an impact, though.
Go ahead. No, you don't have anything on the special teams?
No.
Well, I guess we can
They
wrap
didn't
this
say
up.
They didn't say anything about punter. He won't wrap that up. I mean, he won't say who that is.
I would be surprised if it was Jake Camarda.
Yeah, it looks. He mentioned Camarda, and then he didn't say anything about snapper. It's interesting that there legitimately is a competition at pretty much everywhere. It seems like, except where Tyler Simmons is playing. 4 of the offensive line positions seem they're kind of in from. But the receivers, we don't totally know. We know Swift is probably, is the starter at running back. How much does that matter? If you're going to be playing, if Zamir plays 8 snaps or gets 8 carries, Swift gets 12.
Is there a running back that you don't think is going to play? Is Kenny McIntosh maybe the only running back that doesn't get a carry?
I want to see if Kenny McIntosh plays. We're going to... Because I never saw him play, and I only watched limited film on him. I'll tell you who looked good was Milton. Kendall Milton looked legit on Saturday night after the Gators.
He's a big kid who can make you miss,
He
too.
is very sudden.
He's got really good balance,
He
too.
is very sudden. I thought he was a heck of a player the other night. When are y'all going up to? Y'all are going up on Saturday. Okay. Yeah. We're just going to see how this goes. It will be
go fine.
I think it will be less interesting than downtown Athens.
Yeah.
But it will be interesting nonetheless. Just to see. Stokes was up there tonight. Is he a starter?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. So what about who's left out in the secondary? Who is going to be the nickel guy? There still are questions at Georgia.
A guy who made a lot of plays last year, especially against Florida, that people haven't talked about much, Tyreek McGee. He's a veteran, and he made a lot of big plays.
What's going to happen with Channing Tindall? What's going to happen with Quay Walker? What's going to happen with all these guys? There's plenty of guys left to go that have not yet played. And, I just...
We'll see most of them up against Vanderbilt. I think that's the plan. Get all these guys in at least a little bit.
It will be fun to. I think it will be fun to watch, but maybe I'm over evaluating what Georgia is. We'll see. Okay, right. We will see you on the website. Dean Legge, Matt DeBary, Dylan Webber, wrapping up Riding Home. Thanks for listening to us. We'll see you on the website.